急に始まるやん。あ、R2 ね。あ、もう動かすみたい。あ、全然わからん。
I'm just gonna start at the beginning with the house.
とりあえず始まりのことから。どういうこと？つまり、まあ、行けばいいのかな。遅いな、歩くの。歩くの遅いな。
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the
家の
rooms.
半分は立ち入りが許されていなかった。ここに移すんだな、ノブが。やめてほしいね。誰が移してんのこれ。何これ。R2 なのかな基本的に。
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
7年前だ。滞納しすぎじゃないの、7年前は。どういうこと？
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
ルイス兄さんのお葬式だなって言ったな。ルイス兄さんのお葬式だったのかな。あ、走らないんだよ。遅い遅いこれ。
In her will, my mother left me a key but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
どこ開けるのかわからない。なるほどね。
Maybe she thought I'd know,
私は知ってる
or
けど
she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
なるほどな。こっち行けよ。どっち行くの？どっち？こっち行くか、とりあえず。ルートとかあんのかな、これ。何の話だ、これ。
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
見えない、ちょっと重なってんな、ちょっと。おい、消した、お前。なんて言ったかわかんない。丸のか、なんか他の操作あんのかな。L1 ズームだな。あ、びっくり。鹿。じゃあね。L2、L1 でズームできんだ。あ、一応こっちにも道ある。ルート的なあれなのか。
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
それ自体にスケートモデルってよくわかんないけど言葉が。こっから入らないんだな。待ってました。待ってたんかい。こっちから入るとこ。うるさいな、なんだ。開けれるこれ。あ、すごい。
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
知らねえよって感じなんだよね。すっごいノコギリ綺麗に残ってるね。 どういうことなんだろう結
For the
局。
first time in
久し
years,
ぶり
I felt like I was
に家
home.
にいる気分がした。遺産を相続してなんかもう一回来たみたいな感じだけど、なんかわかんない。
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
でも去った夜のままテーブルがつながっていた。去った夜のままってね、去った。
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
爆弾ゴチみんな殺されたのこれ。
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
すみません。しっかり寝るんだね。
Even the fireplace had a story.
そう
Edie told me the bricks came from the original house
いい
after it sank.
沈んだ最初の家の映画で作られたそう。見れないのこれ。
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
スイッチの方で見ますねって。見るんかい結局。このゲーム多分面白くないぞ。
After Milton
そん
disappeared,
なこと言っちゃダメか。
Mom
面
sealed
白い
up
よ。
all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
覗き穴開けた。全然話理解してないからね、言うて。誰このおじさん。横に髪生えすぎじゃない？耳らへんとか髪生えすぎじゃない？この人。すごい、なんか狼みたいな感じよ。あのなんか。
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
この人オーディンなんだ。なんちゅうかそれ。
Whenever people ask me about my family,
人が
the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
聞くとき、いつも最初に知りたいからバーバラの話だった。この人バーバラっていうの。My friend Bigfoot。バーバラ・フィンチ。映画とかなのかな？映画とかのポスター的な。主役だったのかな？主演の人だったのかな？子役的な。あれか。覗き穴ありすぎでしょ。
My grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
サムおじさんね。サムおじさんだって、サムおじさん。聞いたことあるんだ。
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
なんかこのウニャウニャ何？どういう部屋？すごい本が置いてあるよね。ちょっと背ちっちゃね。
The last time I was in Edith Senior's room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
私の所属が書いてた。誰？この人。この人誰？気になるだろ。ボケすぎだし。モーリー。
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with if she hadn't died in 1947.
結構昔の話なんだな。1947年。あ、そういうことが俺生きた年よ。どれだけ生きたかったことこれ書いてんのか。やだね、ちょっと。何これ。誰の部屋？
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
たくさん飛んだ。
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
すごいね。
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
おいど。どう動かすの？あ、なるほど。こっちか。
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
秘密を守るのがなかったね。
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
何を襲ってたの？
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
ミルトン誰ミルトンミルトン誰
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door.
何があるんでしょう
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
これ何のこと全然どういう結論だというか誰の部屋これこんな複雑なところにあこれモーリーか
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
モーリーの
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
わからんな開けれんのこれこの辺なんかありそうだけどいいね景色はいいね晴れてはいないけど
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
急に遡ったな
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
お前ネズミの餌食うのかよ汚ねえとは言わない、うん、さすがにそれはかわいそうだからね
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
はい別に腹寝てても腹寝てても腹減ってても寝れるけどな寝ようぜダメだろこれこっちは食べたの
I ate a lot of things that night.
それ食べれるやつなのどういうああ健全です言うて明日の朝食べればいいじゃんあれさっきこれあれってなかった気がするんだけどどういうこと寝ればいいんじゃないの寝ようぜ寝ないのどこそっちか何それ
I kept eating and eating.
それそれってさそれ歯磨き粉じゃないの
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
わかんない歯磨き粉
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
逃げられた
And suddenly,
はい
I was a cat.
知らないどういうこと
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
どういう世界観猫になってたのはわからんわどこ行ったそっちがやったのか
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
ママパパも私に目くれないママとパパなんか人形チックだねよう猫でもさいけるなこういうとここっちおいであれいけないよ待て
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
どういうこと？食べたいの？食べたいんか。なんか捕まえて食べたいのね。
I gobbled her up.
いやー、怖い怖い。あー、落ちちゃったし。
Suddenly, I was an owl.
突然袋に。
First, all I heard was the wind.
はい。
Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
突然袋になった。はあ。前向かないのかもしれない。ちょっと前向いてちょっと。
Rabbits.
ラビッツ。ウサギやっちゃうよ。どこ難しいつかここ俺任せかよ。さっきまでボートだったのに。難しい。加速する。すごい。よし、ゲットだぜ。
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my
いやだ
talons.
としても嫌だこれは。
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find
お
something
前
bigger.
そんな大きくない子供なのにそんなさ。
A mama rabbit.
前見えないからちょっと怖いね。そんな変わんなくね。
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
あ、わからん。それはわからん。どういう話それ？サメがそれはおもろいじゃん。サメはおもろいじゃん。おいおかしいって。海に行けよ海に。
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean.
あ、
Now, I was hungrier than ever.
すごいこれ難しいね。そうそう本当に。
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
あ、すごい見えない。どこ行ったアシカさんアザラシさんだ。アシカじゃないの。アザラシさん。いやー痛そう。
Tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
美味しかったんだ。じゃあいいや。もっと行くもしかして。
I grabbed on tight.
もっとガッチリ
But
上
I
がっ
was
て
so
いった。
hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
何これ。あ、俺ヘビか。ヘビ苦手な人これ無理だよね。どういうこと？
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
今度怪物ですか？こんにちは。怪物だよね。ヘビじゃない。アナコンダとか。
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
そうですよね。どこに収めてるの。
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
そうでもないんだ。やりたい気がするけど、そうでもないんだ。当たりすぎじゃない、ちょっと。酔ってる。大変だ。ちょっと怖いな。食べるの早そうじゃなくて。こんにちは。夢だわ。クソですよ。さすがに音でバレるでしょ。
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. Across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam
つまり
towards
どういう
it.
ことなの？何を言いたいの？まだ怪物なの？
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
何でしょう？何がいるでしょう？トイレから来たんだ。トイレから来たんだよ。何よ。
I got closer and closer.
近づくと。あ、モーリーだ。これね。こういうモーリー。あれ自分の体短すぎんこれ。回ってもないんだから。あ、こっちかな。
All my stomach started growling.
すべてに。
And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
なるほどねって言えないわ。なるほどでもなんでもないわ。つまり食われたってことが。なるほど。そういうことでいいですか。いいですか？もう帰っていいですか？もう帰っちゃダメ。
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
どういうこと？モーリーの一部って何？わからない。あ、開ける。あ、そっから行くんかな。
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the
呪い
sea.
半端ねえじゃん。何かした。
Odin's daughter Edie,
相当
with
悪いこと
husband
したんだよ。
Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
めっちゃ長いんだね。一番上が俺かな。俺だかな。ジョイング・ザ・グレート、マジョリティマジョリティ。
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
この部屋なんだろう。
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
なかなかだね。ちょっと気持ち悪いよこれ。
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
モグラ男いいんだから。帰りならどこ行くんですか。じゃあ何これ。何これ。酸素ボンベ。まだよこれ。
Lewis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
木に書こうとしたのか。ちょっとね、どこある他に。おお、違う。違うとこ。ちょっと待ってね。 椅子座ってやってたのかな。またこれも開くのか。Use a secret in this bathroom by 7 on Eli Finn.
There's a secret in this bathroom.
秘密が隠されている。There is a secret in this bathroom.
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
勢いがすごいね。これさ、こんな技がめんどくさい仕掛けよ。だってこっち側にちょっと見てない。こっち側。危ない。
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
なるほどね。どこですか。どこ？トレジ。 ランドでうるうるうるみたいな聞こえるけど。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
ブラコン乗ってんの。どうですかね。あ、そうっていい。ローテ的なの。よー。
My brother said he'd die
ちょ
before
っ
he
と
even
斜めになっ
remembered.
たちょっと。
And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
飛びたがっていたけど。
Sam, come.
Huh?
Dinner's ready.
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
そうだ。あ、そうだそうだそうだ。酔うなこれちょっとやばい。酔うな。
I
酔っ
told
てる
him
の。
going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
ダメだ酔うこれ。
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
もうやばいやばい。あがりすぎやって。死ぬ。
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he didn't.
あ
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
死んだんかそれ。
After the funeral,
ちょっと今日は
Edie
これ
broke
終わら
off.
せていただく。びっくり。びっくり。
Calvin's half of the room.
びっくりっす。クリエイティブって何？あ、そうですね。でまああれだね。わけわかんないなこの話。なんか一家の死んだなんかのやつを調べる的なやつなのかな。兄さんが死んでなんか見てきたよみたいな。でもこの家に関してはまあ話されてないみたいな感じなのかな。この一番上にいるエディスっていうの、エディスっていうのわかんないけど、もうちょっとね、僕こういうゲームやるとね酔うからね。さっき長かったわ。よしとりあえず終わろう。